ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
10 pounds of high-powered explosives believed to have been stolen from a Southern California military base. Tonight, we have new details on an exclusive Team 10 investigation we broke today. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner talked to an expert about how much of a danger the missing C4 poses.
Behind the front entry of this Southern California military base, an investigation is underway after high-power explosives disappeared during a training exercise, according to multiple sources with close military ties. The images on screen are from a separate training exercise on the 29 Palms Marine Base in 2016. They are not from this new incident. Sources confirm that 2 weeks ago, about 10 pounds of C4 vanished during a new training exercise, and it's believed that the explosives may have been stolen.
It's a huge problem.
Thursday, ABC 10 News spoke to retired Captain Kelly Mayer, a former bomb technician and firefighter with 23 years of experience. He said that C4, pictured here from a training event 4 years ago, requires military blasting caps to detonate, and once it does, it moves very quickly, 30,000 feet per second.
It is the most powerful explosive that there is. All explosives are measured against TNT, and C4 is right there with TNT.
Even 1 pound could destroy a vehicle, he added. 10 pounds spaced out or detonated together could cause substantial damage.
It could demolish a house, say a single-family residence. You could blow the roof off of a house. You could blow walls out from it.
Sources confirm that the commanding officer of the unit sent out a message to all subordinate commands about a monetary reward for any information leading to the discovery of the C4. The base would not confirm the details in our story, but sent a brief statement reading in part, "The ongoing investigation into this incident is being handled by NCIS and the affected units." Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
NCIS told us in part that it will not comment on or confirm details relating to the ongoing investigations. You can track any new developments with this story on the 10 News mobile app. A free version is available in the App Store.
The hunt for a possible gunman in Claremont has been called off tonight. It all started around 2 o'clock when a man who had been shot showed up at a post office on Claremont Drive. Witnesses reported possibly seeing 2 armed men on Claremont Mesa Boulevard near a preschool and a church. Police shut down the area and did find 1 suspect. They called off the search for a second suspect about 5 o'clock. No word on the condition of the person shot.
Turning now to coronavirus, some San Diego Unified teachers are worried about returning to the classroom before they're vaccinated. The CDC announced that schools can reopen safely, but one teacher tells our ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano he's not convinced.
And they would love to be back on campus because we realize this is not the best way to do the job.
5th grade teacher Casey Hickenbottom says he would love nothing more than to teach his kids in person again. But right now, he says his community just isn't ready.
In my room alone, 2 families that COVID ran roughshod over, the entire family.
He teaches at Johnson Elementary, where 100% of students get free or reduced lunches. Their parents, almost all essential workers, are at high risk of COVID exposure.
They're out at work every day. I mean, quarantining is a luxury they don't have.
Wednesday, the CDC director said that teachers do not have to be vaccinated in order to safely reopen schools. But president of the San Diego Unified School District Board, Richard Barrera, says he wants teachers and essential school workers to be prioritized for vaccinations at places like the Petco Superstation.
We would like to see some dedicated lanes, for teachers to be able to get appointments, go through, get vaccinated.
But Supervisor Nathan Fletcher says that will not happen.
We do not believe it would make sense to take a senior out of line and replace that senior with a young and healthy worker.
Even if teachers were vaccinated right now, it will take 6 weeks until the vaccine's efficacy reaches its peak. And by that time, there will only be a little more than 1 month left in the school year. Barrera says it's still worth it.
Every day we can get back is a positive day.
Hickenbottom says he'd gladly get the vaccine. Even so, he knows school won't be the same as before the pandemic.
It doesn't seem worth the risk to me. And that's coming from somebody who would love to be back in the classroom.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
And our 2-day run on fewer than 1,000 cases came to an end today. The county reported just under 1,600 cases, while our test positivity rate ticked up to 7%. 55 more people have also lost their lives to COVID, bringing that number to 2,700.
A milestone at the Vaccination Superstation downtown. Last night, they vaccinated the 100,000th person at the Petco Park site, which opened January 11th. Right now, about 5,000 people a day are getting vaccinated at the site, which requires an appointment. It is one of 4 superstations operating in different parts of San Diego County. This afternoon, Johnson & Johnson submitted an application for its COVID-19 vaccine to the FDA. And that means we could have a 3rd vaccine rolling out by next month and 2 more in the spring. ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl goes in depth for a look at how the leading candidates compare.
New COVID-19 vaccines from Johnson & Johnson, Oxford AstraZeneca, and Novavax are getting closer to joining Pfizer and Moderna in the fight against the virus in the U.S. Clinical trials show all 5 vaccines work extremely well at preventing severe disease. In fact, no volunteer who got one of these shots had to be hospitalized for COVID-19 or died from it.
They're all effective. They will prevent you from dying from COVID or from getting hospitalized with COVID. I would get any of them whenever they're available to you. When
it comes to their abilities to prevent symptoms entirely, there are some differences. Based on early data, the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine is 66% effective. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is 76% or more effective, depending on how the 2 doses are spaced out. And Novavax comes in at 89% effective after 2 doses. None of those sound as good as the roughly 95% efficacy for Pfizer or Moderna, but there's some important context to remember. Both Pfizer and Moderna ran their clinical trials before the trickiest viral mutations started spreading. Johnson & Johnson and Novavax conducted trials in South Africa against the toughest known variant, says Dr. Christian Ramers of Family Health Centers of San Diego.
It's very good news, even that against the harder the more evasive mutant strains, that we're getting more than 50% efficacy.
The 5 vaccines fall into 3 categories. Pfizer and Moderna are mRNA vaccines, which use bits of genetic code in tiny fat bubbles to train the immune system. J&J and Oxford AstraZeneca are called viral vector vaccines. These use a harmless virus to transport similar genetic code. Novavax is different. Instead of code, scientists inject a fake spike protein.
This is just the protein, not the whole virus, so it can't replicate, it can't cause any infections.
When it comes to side effects, we only have an FDA analysis on Pfizer and Moderna shots, but it appears the other 3 cause similar short-term mild effects like fatigue and headache. Slightly fewer people who got the Johnson & Johnson shot developed fever than those who got Moderna or Pfizer. We know even less about the side effects from Novavax, but Dr. Abby Olalade of Sharp Reese Staley doesn't expect any surprises.
That technology has been used in other viruses like hepatitis B and HPV. So, we know that they have similar side effects to the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines.
Novavax is probably the farthest off. It's expected to roll out in a few months. Oxford AstraZeneca probably won't hit the U.S. until April, but Johnson & Johnson could get approval as soon as this month. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
All 5 developers are working on booster shots to address mutations in the virus. Dr. Anthony Fauci says they will start with the South African variant. The first boosters could be ready within months. And we know there are a lot of questions and different experiences with the vaccine rollout. Our ABC 10 News in-depth team is committed to tracking down answers and sharing your stories. Just send us an email at tips@10news.com.
We have new details on those remains found on a Santee trail. Hikers discovered the remains yesterday afternoon near the Summit Avenue and Summit Crest Drive. Today, the Sheriff's Department said there is no indication the remains have any connection to the disappearance of Maya Miliete. The Chula Vista mother of 3 was last seen nearly a month ago. The Sheriff's Homicide Unit will work with the medical examiner to identify those Santee remains.